It was nearly 2:30 in the morning. The university campus was swallowed by night, and I was utterly alone in the cavernous lecture hall, desperately cramming for my physics final. The overhead fluorescent lights flickered and buzzed like trapped flies caught behind cracked glass, their harsh hum slicing through the thick, oppressive silence. My pen tapped nervously on the cold wooden desk. The only steady sound besides the occasional creak and groan of the ancient building settling deeper into itself, as if the very bones of the structure were sighing in exhaustion. Then, a cough. Not mine. My heart slammed against my ribs as I whipped my head around. The rows behind me were empty. The darkness beyond stretched endlessly, swallowing the edges of the room. Footsteps echoed, slow and deliberate, reverberating off the hard stone walls, a metallic scrape like dress shoes dragging across cold tile, each step heavy with something older than regret. From the shadowed stage, a figure emerged. Thin, gaunt, dressed in a suit that looked decades past its prime, seams fraying like forgotten memories, fabric whispering secrets of neglect. His head lolled sideways, his neck bent at an unnatural angle, like something soft had been cruelly broken and reassembled. His skin was parchment thin, stretched taut over sharp, protruding bones. But his eyes, oh, his eyes. They wept thick black ink, thick trails dripping slowly down his hollowed cheeks, dark rivers vanishing into the collar of his threadbare jacket. He lifted a gnarled finger, pointed to my open notebook. The pages fluttered violently on their own, flipping faster and faster until they stopped with a shudder on the formula I'd been wrestling with for weeks, the one I thought I understood. "You can't solve what you ran from," he rasped. His voice didn't echo or bounce off the walls. It slithered beneath my skin, cold and invasive, wrapping tight around my ribs like a living thing. My gaze snapped to the chalkboard behind him. The equations scrawled there twisted and writhed like living creatures, squirming and reshaping themselves before my eyes. Symbols I didn't recognize crawled across the black surface, twitching as if trying desperately to communicate something, ancient, unknowable, and terribly wrong. The room's temperature plummeted. My breath came out in white, misty puffs. He took a slow, deliberate step forward, then another. I could hear the faint creak of his knees, the unsettling sound of bones grinding beneath fragile skin. Then a slithering noise, something dragged behind the podium, something I couldn't see but felt pressing just beyond the edge of my vision. It loomed. Beneath me, the floorboards vibrated subtly, like something was crawling beneath the tiles, something alive. A low, sinister hum began to rise around me, first a faint murmur, then sharpening into a chorus of whispered voices echoing through the walls. They chanted the formula over and over, a maddening loop that twisted and distorted reality itself. His mouth stretched wider than humanly possible, jaw cracking as he exhaled a breath thick with the stench of mildew and rusted iron, like stale air trapped inside a sealed tomb. The ink streaming from his eyes quickened to a torrent, pooling at his collar before seeping into the floor, where it writhed and slithered like dark, living eels. I bolted, my notes scattered behind me like dry, dead leaves caught in a gust of wind. I didn't stop running until I burst out into the cold night air, gasping for breath, my body shaking uncontrollably. The ringing in my ears drowned out the world, the impossible equations still tattooed behind my eyelids. I passed the exam, but I haven't slept right since. Every time I close my eyes, I'm back in that lecture hall. The chalkboard still moves. That man still whispers those terrible equations in my ear, and that dragging, scraping sound. Always just behind me, closer every time. Have you ever been studied by something that shouldn't be studying you? Have you ever been visited? Comment below. Let's compare notes. And whatever you do, don't run. They love the chase. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe and follow us for more bone-chilling chronicles. Join us on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Blue Sky for more if you dare.